Ever watch these pro athletes just raking in millions and think, fuck, I should just learn to throw a goddamn ball?
Yeah, the money in pro sports these days is insane.
Seriously, some of these contracts are more mind-blowing than a weekend vendor in Vegas.
Well, there's a whole system in place that tries to control this financial chaos.
What system?
Salary caps.
Salary caps.
Yeah, and honestly, it's more fucked up than you might think.
Okay, let's cut the crap. What the hell is a salary cap?
It's,
Some communist plot to keep these millionaires from becoming billionaires.
not exactly communist, but it's definitely a way to level the playing field.
Level the playing field.
Financially speaking, basically it sets a limit on how much a team can spend on their players' salaries.
Okay.
The idea is to stop the richest teams from just buying up all the talent.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me.
Mhm.
If I owned a team, I'd want to buy the best players, win every goddamn championship, and drown myself in champagne and strippers.
Right?
Why the fuck would anyone want to limit how much they spend?
That's where those historical examples you sent over come in.
Oh, yeah?
Remember the Union Association in baseball back in the 1880s?
Vaguely.
No salary cap, and this one team, the St. Louis Maroons, just bought up all the superstars.
Yeah.
They dominated so hard that the league imploded after a single season.
Wait, so winning too much can actually kill a league? That's fucked up.
It's like overdosing on winning.
Okay.
And then there's the All-America Football Conference in the 40s.
Uh-huh.
The Cleveland Browns were unstoppable, winning every single championship.
Really?
Fans got bored, and the league folded after 4 years.
Damn.
See, parity is crucial.
Parody.
Yeah, it keeps things interesting, keeps the money flowing.
All right, I'm starting to see the logic here.
Right.
So these caps are supposed to stop dynasties and keep those greedy owners in check.
You got it.
Okay.
More competition, more drama, more money for everyone in the long run.
Okay, but how the hell do these caps actually work? Are they all the same?
Not a chance. There
No.
are two main types.
Oh, yeah.
You've got hard caps like in the NFL.
Hard cap.
Absolutely NO, exceeding the limit.
Yeah.
Then there are soft caps, like in the NBA, where teams can go over, but they get hit with a luxury tax.
Well, that's a luxury tax.
Think of it like a financial spanking for those rich bastards.
So the NBA is basically a pay-to-win system.
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
The NBA also has a salary floor, forcing teams to spend a minimum amount on salaries.
Really?
And then you've got crazy shit like the Larry Bird exception, which lets teams go over the cap to keep their star players.
Hold on, Larry Bird exception, like the
Yeah.
Celtics legend.
Yeah.
Did they name this rule after him because he was always demanding more cash?
Haha, not quite. It's named after him because he was one of the first players to benefit from it. It's meant to help teams hold on to their fan favorites, even if it means bending the salary cap rules a bit.
So it's all a goddamn game, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Teams trying to cheat the system and build super teams.
You could say that the offseason is like a chess match with general managers trying to outsmart each other and find loopholes.
Sounds stressful.
It's pretty damn entertaining, actually.
Speaking of loopholes,
Yeah.
what about Major League Baseball? Don't they just let those teams spend whatever the hell they want?
MLB is the Wild West of pro sports spending.
Seriously.
No salary cap, just a luxury tax that's supposed to discourage excessive spending.
The luxury tax.
But let's be real, for teams like the Yankees, it's a drop in the bucket compared to their revenue.
So the Yankees are basically saying, fuck you, MLB, we're going to buy a championship.
Kind of.
No wonder they've won so many goddamn titles.
It's not that simple.
Okay.
While the Yankees have consistently spent the most, big spending teams like the Red Sox and Dodgers have also won championships in recent years.
So the luxury tax hasn't been a magic bullet for parity.
Not really.
Color me shocked. It seems like teams are always finding ways to game the system no matter the league.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a constant battle between owners, players, and the league itself.
All right, so we've got MLB's free-for-all, the NBA's pay-to-win system, and now I'm curious about the NFL. How the fuck do teams even manage those contracts with all those crazy clauses and bonuses?
That's where things get really interesting.
How so?
The NFL's hard cap is tied directly to the league's revenue, and teams have to spend within a certain percentage of that revenue on player salaries.
So the more money the NFL makes, the more these players get to stuff in their pockets.
That's the idea.
Sounds pretty fair to me.
It's meant to be fair, but there are definitely some unintended consequences.
Like what?
Shorter contracts, a reliance on younger players, and even those fan favorite veterans getting cut because their salaries are too damn high.
Damn, talk about a kick in the balls. So even with a hard cap, teams still have to make some tough choices.
Absolutely. Managing the salary cap is where those general managers earn their big bucks.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a high-stakes poker game, and they're constantly trying to outsmart each other and stay under the limit.
Sounds intense.
It is.
All right, so we've got the NFL's hard cap, the NBA's soft cap with a luxury tax. What about other sports leagues? Do they all follow these models?
You might be surprised to learn that salary caps aren't just a North American thing.
Wait, seriously? So even those fancy European soccer teams have to deal with salary caps?
Not quite. European football is a whole different beast.
How so?
They haven't really embraced salary caps, mainly because of the complex web of international leagues, free movement of players, and varying tax laws. It's a real clusterfuck.
So basically, those teams are playing on easy mode. Unlimited money, the best players from around the world.
It's not that simple.
Man, that's some bullshit.
They have their own challenges.
Fair enough.
But let's hop over to Australia and New Zealand.
Australia?
Leagues like Aussie Rules football and rugby have actually adopted salary caps.
Hold the phone. Australia has salary caps.
Yeah.
I thought those guys were all about throwing shrimp on the Barbie and wrestling crocodiles.
No.
When the hell do they have time for spreadsheets and salary negotiations?
Haha, well, believe it or not, they take their sports pretty seriously down under. And those salary caps have actually had a big impact on parity, preventing those richer clubs from dominating the leagues.
So even down under, they understand that too much winning can ruin the damn fun?
You got it. And it's a key part of why salary caps have spread to so many different sports leagues around the world.
This is blowing my mind.
Right.
All right, so it seems like these salary caps are popping up everywhere.
They are.
But let's get real for a second. Do these things actually work? Do they really level the playing field? Or is it all just a big scam to keep the players from getting their fair share?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a tough one to answer definitively.
How so?
It's a complex issue with a lot of moving parts.
Well, let's hear it. Lay it on me.
In some leagues, like the NFL and Aussie Rules, football salary caps seem to have helped create more parity.
Okay.
More teams have a shot at winning the championship, which keeps fans engaged and the league more competitive.
So in those leagues, it's like the little guy actually has a fighting chance.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, I guess.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, no.
Salary caps also have their critics.
Oh, really?
Some argue they can hurt the quality of play because teams are forced to let go of talented players to stay under the cap.
Yeah, I can see that. Like if your team had to trade away their star player because of the damn salary cap, you'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if that player was carrying your fantasy team.
Yeah, exactly. And there's always the argument that salary caps are just a way for owners to line their own pockets while keeping player salaries down.
So basically, there are pros and cons to this whole salary cap thing. No easy answers.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's a constant balancing act, a tug of war between fairness, competition, and the almighty dollar. And every league has to figure out what works best for them.
Well, I think we've covered a shit ton of ground here today.
Yeah.
We've talked about what salary caps are, the different types, and how they're impacting leagues all over the globe.
Right.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But I think we need a break.
Sounds good to me.
All right, folks, I think it's time for a quick piss break. When we come back, we'll delve into some specific examples of how these salary caps have impacted different teams and players.
Yeah.
And we'll explore some of the more creative and maybe even shady ways teams have tried to circumvent the rules.
Believe me, some of these schemes are straight out of a goddamn Hollywood movie.
Ooh, now that's what I'm talking about. All right, you degenerates, don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a flash.
All right, let's dive back into this financial cesspool. We're talking about MLB's luxury tax, the supposed deterrent for big spenders.
Yeah, you mentioned the Yankees basically laughing in the face of that competitive balance tax. Is it really just a slap on the wrist for those rich bastards?
Pretty much. Teams that go over the threshold pay a tax on the excess amount. But for teams like the Yankees, who've shelled out over $300 million in luxury tax since 2003, it's jump change.
Yeah.
They're making bank, so what's a few million here and there?
It's trying to stop a goddamn tsunami with a bucket. So is this luxury tax just a way for the MLB to squeeze more cash out of its teams?
Well, it does generate revenue for the league, but it's also supposed to discourage reckless spending and promote a bit of fairness.
Fairness? You think the MLB gives a shit about fairness?
Well,
Come on.
it's debatable.
All right, whatever. Has it worked?
The evidence is pretty damn mixed.
Speaking of fairness, let's get back to the NFL and their hard cap. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how those teams manage those mind-boggling contracts with all those crazy clauses and bonuses.
It's like navigating a financial minefield.
Seriously.
Teams have to get creative to stay under the cap, especially when they're trying to sign those big-name, game-changing players.
Yeah.
That's where those hefty signing bonuses come in.
Yes, signing bonuses. Those massive piles of cash that make my bank account weep in shame.
Right. But here's the kicker for salary cap purposes. Signing bonuses are spread out over the length of the contract.
Really?
So a player might sign a 5-year deal with a $20 million signing bonus, but his cap hit for that bonus is only $4 million per year. So it's accounting voodoo.
Pretty much.
A way to make those contracts look less bloated.
It's all within the rules, believe it or not.
Okay.
It allows teams to offer competitive contracts while staying under the cap.
Okay.
But there's a catch, of course.
There's always a catch.
Teams have to be careful about backloading contracts with too much bonus money in the later years.
Uh-huh.
If they cut the player before then, all that remaining bonus money gets dumped onto the current year's cap.
Sounds like a recipe for a salary cap disaster, like a financial hangover from hell.
It can be. Teams need to be strategic about structuring contracts and finding ways to free up cap space.
Right.
That's why you see so many veterans, even those fan favorites, getting cut or traded.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat business, man.
Mm.
1 minute you're the hero, the next you're packing your bags because your salary is too damn high.
And that's one of the main arguments against salary caps.
Yeah.
They can force teams to make tough decisions, sometimes letting go of loyal and talented players simply because of financial constraints.
Right.
It's not always about performance. All right, so let's say a team just says, fuck it, we're going all in. What happens when they blow past the salary cap?
Well, the consequences can be brutal depending on the league.
Like what?
In the NFL, teams that violate the cap face hefty fines lose draft picks and could even have contracts voided.
Damn, they don't fuck around.
Nope. The NFL is like the salary cap police, always watching, always waiting to drop the hammer.
Or what about the other leagues?
The other leagues have their own ways of punishing those cap violators.
Okay.
The NBA's luxury tax, for example, can get pretty damn expensive for teams that are repeat offenders.
So it's a high-stakes game of chicken.
It is.
Teams pushing the limits, trying to find loopholes, while leagues try to keep them in check. It's almost as entertaining as the games themselves.
Absolutely. And it's not just happening in North America. Remember how we talked about Australia having salary caps?
Yeah, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I always pictured those Aussies just playing for the love of the game, not worried about money.
They're passionate about their sports, no doubt, but they also understand the importance of competitive balance.
Okay.
The Australian Football League, or AFL, has had a salary cap since 1987.
Really?
It's been pretty effective in preventing those wealthy clubs from turning the league into their own personal playground.
So even down under those shrimp-eating, crocodile-wrestling Aussies, understand that too much winning can ruin the damn fun.
You got it. And in their rugby league, the NRL, they've got a hard cap similar to the NFL.
Okay.
It's created some fierce competition with a bunch of different teams winning championships over the years.
That's cool.
Parity keeps fans on the edge of their seats.
It's amazing how this salary cap concept has spread around the world. It's like a financial pandemic. But instead of making people sick, it's making sports leagues more competitive.
It's a fascinating phenomenon.
It is.
And it raises some interesting questions about the future of professional sports.
Such as?
Will salary caps become even more prevalent? Will they evolve, or will teams find new and creative ways to circumvent them?
It's a financial arms race, man. And it's only going to get more intense as the money in pro sports continues to skyrocket.
Exactly. But we've only scratched the surface of this salary cap madness.
We have. I thought we were pretty much done.
There are so many more intriguing details and insane stories to uncover.
All right, before we get lost in this financial labyrinth, let's take a quick breather.
That's good.
When we come back, we'll dive into some specific examples of how these salary caps have shaped teams, impacted players' careers, and even led to some downright shady dealings.
We'll also explore some of the biggest salary cap casualties, those players who got screwed over by the system.
Sounds juicy.
Oh.
All right, you animals don't wander off. We'll be back in a flash with more salary cap craziness. All right, we're back, and my brain is still fried from all this salary cap talk.
It's a lot to digest.
We've covered a lot of ground, but I'm still left wondering, are these things good or bad for the game?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Are they just a way for the owners to keep more of that sweet, sweet cash for themselves?
It's the million-dollar question, and like we've been saying, there's no easy answer.
Right.
Salary caps can create more parity, which is great for fans and the overall health of the league. But they can also screw over players, limit their earning potential, and force teams to make some heartbreaking decisions.
Yeah, it's like a constant tug of war between fairness, competition, and the almighty dollar. It's enough to make your head spin.
For sure.
And it's not just happening in North America. This salary cap craze is spreading like wildfire, with leagues all over the world trying to find that sweet spot between financial control and competitive balance.
It's true.
It's a global phenomenon, man. Who would have thought those Aussies would be crunching numbers and setting salary limits? I always pictured them more concerned with catching waves and wrestling trocks.
Well, they're definitely passionate about their sports, but they also recognize the need for a level playing field.
Yeah, it's a testament to how important this issue has become in professional sports. Everyone's trying to figure out how to manage this financial beast, and salary caps, for all their flaws, seem to be the go-to solution.
It seems that way.
Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, you teased a story about a European rugby player and some shady salary cap dealings.
Oh, yeah.
Spill the beans, man. I'm all ears.
All right, this one takes us to the French Top 14 Rugby League.
Okay.
They have a salary cap, but like any good system, there are always those crafty bastards trying to find ways around it.
Of course.
This case involves a team owner named Mourad Bougelo,
Mourad Bougel.
a real maverick who is known for pushing the boundaries.
Sounds like my kind of guy. What did he do? Just say fuck the rules and sign whoever he wanted?
He was a bit more clever than that.
Oh,
He wanted to sign the star player Johnny Wilkinson, a legend in the rugby world.
Johnny Wilkinson.
But Wilkinson's salary demands were higher than the cap allowed. So Bougelo got creative.
I bet he did. These owners are like financial wizards, always cooking up some crazy schemes.
He found a loophole that allowed him to set up a separate company to pay Wilkinson a big chunk of his salary.
Really?
This way, the payment didn't technically count against the team's salary cap. It was a brilliant, if somewhat unethical move.
Damn, that's some next level shit. So he basically found a way to pay the player under the table.
You could say that. And it worked for a while.
It did.
Wilkinson helped the team win a championship and everyone was happy.
Nice.
But eventually the league caught on and closed the loophole. You can't hide from the salary cap police forever.
So even when you think you found a way to beat the system, they always find a way to catch up. It's like a never-ending game of cat and mouse.
Exactly. And it highlights the constant tension between the desire to win at all costs and the need for fairness and financial stability.
Well, after this deep dive, I can confidently say that salary caps are a goddamn mess. But they're also fascinating, and they've definitely added another layer of complexity and drama to professional sports.
Could have said it better myself.
So there you have it, folks. The wild world of salary caps in professional sports. It's a complex and ever-changing landscape, but hopefully we've shed some light on how these systems work and the impact they have on the games we love.
Absolutely. From hard caps to soft caps, luxury taxes, and creative loopholes, we have explored it all.
It's a constant battle between owners, players, and the leagues themselves, all vying for a bigger piece of the pie.
And as the money in pro sports continues to grow, this issue is only going to become more important.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and keep those questions coming. Till next time, peace out.